Welcome to SilverC Review. I messed up the shutter. This podcast will have an introduction, a movie review, a movie recommendation, some jokes and quotes, and then an Inside the Intorvert section. All the times will be listed down below, so you can skip to what you want and watch what you want and do what you want. If you want me to look at a certain movie, just leave it in the comments anywhere and I'll look at it. If I've already watched it, I'll comment on it, and if I haven't watched it, then I'll probably do my review on it. So I just did almost half of this podcast and never had this happen before, but all of a sudden I noticed my camera shutter was closed and it said it had problems writing it to the memory card. So, yay, I get to redo everything. I looked and the video was completely gone. Which I've had in the past. If I deleted pictures when my camera was connected to my computer, through my computer instead of on the camera, it still left like if you go to like the calendar on it and it shows you the past dates, it made it seem like there were pictures there even though there weren't, and when I tried to delete it, it would say error with the card and trying to recover the data, and it couldn't do it. So I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe I need to get a new memory card. Hopefully this one gets recorded. I'm almost tempted to stop it halfway and restart it. I don't know, I may do that just so I don't have to do this again. Well, no, I'll just let it go. It's never done that before, so we'll just assume it's not going to do it again, and if it does, then I'll get a new memory card. So anyways, I haven't watched a whole lot of movies recently. I'm trying to catch up. Right now, I'm so busy, but at the same time, I'm getting to do all this stuff I love, and I'm so happy. It's awesome. For like the past 4 months, I haven't been able to do the stuff I wanted to do, like watch the things I wanted to, and do a lot of other things, and now I'm finally able to do it, and I want to do it all at once, and there's not enough hours in the day. But I'm getting there. I'm making a lot of progress, having a lot of fun, having a lot of those moments where you just sit back and you're like, man, my life's awesome. But right now I'm trying to catch up on YouTubers. I watch like 5 different YouTubers on a daily basis. I think only like 2 or 3 of them actually put out movies every day, and the other ones put it out like once a week. One of them, though, which I may have commented on, he puts out, it's a news video, and then he puts out like 6 links after that, and so his counts as like 8, and his is an everyday video as well. But I'm getting caught up. I've only got 2 YouTubers left, and one of them I've only got like 8 or 10 videos left, so I'm almost there. And as soon as I get all caught up, and I've also done a bunch of other stuff, so I've freed up a lot of time. So as soon as all that stuff gets caught up and I'm staying current on everything, then I'll get right back into watching a ton of movies. There's like 20 movies on a list I've got right now that I want to see, that's movies that have recently been in theaters or that are currently in theaters. And then of course I've got a list of like 700 plus that I've mentioned before that I need to watch trailers on, that I get recommendations from podcasts and things. So definitely a long ways to go, but I'm making a lot of progress. Which I want to bring that up. I'm really fortunate that I've got so many different things that bring me happiness in my life. I know a lot of people don't, and what I want to say about that, though, I'll have to bring up the mosquito issue again. One thing that makes me happy is bug spray, which I don't have right now. If you don't have something that currently is making you happy, make sure you don't give up searching for it, because there is something out there for every single person that'll bring them some sort of happiness. So, and if you don't look for it, you'll definitely never find it. I can guarantee you that. And like I said, I'm really fortunate. I've got a lot of stuff that I can turn to, that I enjoy, that I pursue, and all that stuff that makes me happy. So I know not everyone is nearly as fortunate, but that doesn't mean that you can't find what you're looking for, and there is something out there. But yeah, the mosquito thing, I was trying to film back there, and there's, last time I was here it was dry. It's like a bridge and a little creek bed, and this time it's got standing water, so like swarms of mosquitoes. And I moved over here, a few of them follow me, and they're still kind of around me, so you'll see me swatting at stuff and trying to get stuff off my back constantly, but that's what all that is about. So we're going to go into the movie review. This one's going to be Alpha. Probably a movie no one has heard of. It was just in my list of 20. Giving this one a 5 out of 10. There will be spoilers, so if you were planning on watching this movie and you don't want to have it spoiled, make sure you listen to this after you watch it, if you plan on watching it. I'd say it's probably worth your time. I'm at a point where I have a list of 20, but none of them stand out as movies I would want to review. Like, they're all kind of mediocre. They could be good, but it's kind of hard to tell. And like this one, I thought was going to be a lot better than it was. And this is where I need like an audience. I can just be like, "What do you guys want to see or listen to?" Because I don't know what to review. So I'm just kind of picking stuff out of a hat. And like, I think the next one I'm going to do is Sorry to Bother You. Again, it doesn't really stand out, but I've heard some good things about it, and so I was like, I guess I'll just try it. So anyway, this movie had a really neat opening. It was very surreal and had like an HDR look, which stands for High Dynamic Range in Photography. I don't know if they actually use HDR in the film industry, but I guess surreal is a good way to describe it. The arrowhead making contest that allows them to go on the hunt or not, and then they get the crap kicked out of them afterwards. I was like, I'm not sure I would want to win that. It'd be like, yay, I won. Oh, wait, I'm going to get beat up. That's kind of weird. The waterfall scene was really cool. That massive waterfall, and it had rainbows and everything. It'd be super loud to walk by, but man, I'd love to go see something like that. And with them walking kind of silhouettes in front of it, that was really neat. The Sabretooth was really cool, if only for a brief moment. I know he comes in later in the movie, but that was neat. I thought it was kind of weird, the rocks that they find. It was weird how they were, like, unless I just missed something, I didn't see them walk past anything that would have rocks like that. Like, I guess a riverbed, but even then, to find that many big rocks that were, like, perfectly circular. And also, are they just constantly carrying paint with them to paint the rocks? I thought that was kind of weird. I mean, I guess if they know people are going to die, then they could carry the paint, but since they're on such a long distance journey, I figured that you try to pack as light as possible, so it's weird that they're carrying paint with them, but it did look cool at least. I really like how they started filming this movie, how it was big, panning, sweeping, like panoramic shots, and it was showing the bigger picture and then zooming in on them and things like that. But I kind of feel like once the main character, that I don't even know his name, I should know his name, but I don't. The wolf never talked, so it didn't get brought up much. But once it focused on the wolf and the main dude, it didn't really do anything like that I noticed. Like, there wasn't these big shots anymore, and I kind of felt like that was really helping the movie out, so I feel like they should have done that throughout the whole movie. But, oh, when he falls down, I kind of felt like they should have made like a human ladder to get down to him. I mean, I know if he wasn't awake, then he wouldn't have been able to get back up, and even with the human ladder, they probably wouldn't have been able to grab him and pull him back up, but they could have like kicked him to wake him up or something like that, or at least gotten down there and checked on him. So I feel like there was a way, but I mean, that does kind of suck how he was like right there, but yet for them it was too far. Or even like throw rocks at him and like make like a line down to him. I mean, I feel like they definitely would have known to do something like that. When he wakes up, that's definitely a very high and low. It's like, yay, I'm alive, and he looks down, it's like, oh, look, I'm probably gonna die. And but that was lucky about the rain coming in and creating the river, which stuff like that actually does happen. You see in those survival shows, people that are in those dry canyon-like areas are very weary about a storm moving in because it can drop a lot of water and it's got nowhere to go, so it can just create like a river out of nowhere. So that was at least legitimate. He wasn't a very strong kid, but he definitely had his will to survive was very intense, which I guess that's kind of the whole point of the movie. Hearing a dog whimper for whatever reason is like my least favorite sound. Even in movies where there's a big wolf or something that's all bigger than normal and has like powers and is evil and killing people left and right, when they attack it and it starts to whimper or something, I'm like, no, maybe you shouldn't be attacking it. Like, I don't know, something in my brain just hates that sound, and it's like I instantly side with the dog. I don't know if there's any other animal that really makes that sound, but I know that one for sure I can't handle very well. The wolf grabbing the stick, playing like he was playing fetch, was kind of funny, even though he was throwing it at him to get him to go away. Not a whole lot of funny moments in this movie, but that was one of them. When he falls through the ice and he's being sucked away by the water, that was a really cool scene. Like, it was, I liked the way it was filmed, and it was also very intense, and the point where the wolf jumps up and hits the ice, which I thought it was going to break the ice. Like, afterwards, I was like, what did that even do? But just that scene of him jumping in the air, and you see him underwater and coming down on the ice, that was really, really neat. I guess that was one of the few times that they kind of did like a zoomed out scene with the kid and the wolf. I feel like this movie was doing really great until he met the wolf, and then it turned into like a generic, this boy isn't a good hunter and he's barely able to survive, and the wolf is angry, and then the wolf's like, oh, you rescued me, so I'm going to be your best friend, and then the wolf helps him survive, and then he becomes a better hunter, and it's like we've seen all this stuff before, and I was kind of hoping it would be a little bit different. And it was, the first of the movie was not, wouldn't say it's vastly different than other movies, but it was definitely not generic. But at this point, it was pretty much generic. I mean, they run into a few obstacles that you may not see normally, but for the most part, it was the same old story. That really hurt the rating for me. Seeing someone fail that looks like they're better prepared than you are would definitely be hard to take and hard for you to continue on your journey. Because when he finds that guy that's frozen to death, I mean, that dude had like a hut and had all this gear and stuff and bow and arrow, and looked like he was way better than the kid. And for him to see that but still not give up and still continue on, that's really says a lot to his will to survive, and says a lot about the kid. It is weird that we saw hyenas and boars in like this frozen environment, which I think later on I kind of said it, but I'll go ahead and say it here. It was hard to tell the flow of time in this movie. I mean, he said that the winter was coming on quickly, but he seemed like it came on like a week. Like, I feel like he was only out there maybe a week. Like, I don't know, it was just really hard to tell how much time had passed when he was out there. And I also couldn't understand if he was, no, because he was going back the same way they came, so it's not like he went into an area that was naturally snowy. So that was kind of weird. Like, I wasn't a big fan on the flow of time throughout this movie. Leading into my next point, a lot of this movie was hard to accept. I talked about the passage of time. His ankle heals very quickly. I mean, I don't know, like, I know he put like a splint around it and everything, but again, maybe it was just a flow of time thing, but it felt like he was up and walking on it very quickly, and you can't use a broken ankle for it to heal, and it takes like months. And maybe he was out there months and I just couldn't perceive it, but it seemed like it healed really quickly. Same with the wolf. I mean, I know they heal a little bit faster, but it just seemed like he was immediately able to take off and chase things down. Like when he was chasing the boar down, I think that was the first thing he did. I was like, how is he moving that fast? And I thought for sure he was going to get hurt because he was still, I would assume he would have still been hurt, but I guess he was fine. So that was kind of weird. When he gets into the snowy area, especially when he finds the guy, his face has like sores on it and is like frozen. And then like when he leaves, it's like his face is fine. And then when he falls down and he's like about to go to sleep for good, his face is all frozen. And then when he gets back up and gets back into the tribe finally, it's all better again. So it's like, I don't know, it didn't make sense that it could heal like that. I feel like that wasn't very well done. And again, with him, he was coughing up blood, and I don't know a whole lot about that medically, but I don't feel like that's something they could just instantly heal when he got back in the village. But I'm sure that, I guess there's some sort of medicine they can do for something like that. I don't know if it was what was causing it. I tried to kind of glance around online, but I couldn't really find it. I know there's a movie called Vertical Limit, and it's also on, I think it's on Mount Everest, and one of their people, because they get trapped up there, she starts coughing up blood, and they actually have medicine for it. And I can't remember what they call the cause of it, but I know each person had a risk of getting it because they were trying to divide out who deserved the medicine. And so I'm guessing whatever it was he had, but it's kind of weird they could just heal it. The puppies at the end, that was a little much. I know why they did it. It's because the very last scene they wanted to show them coming over the hill and they all had wolves, and that was really cool, but I don't know, for the puppies and the way they were like animated was kind of weird, and I just didn't care for that very much. I admit the last scene was cool, but not that cool. Not worth that. But yeah, this is worth a watch. I'm not going to be adding it to my collection. It wasn't nearly as good. It turned generic halfway through, but it's not terrible, so take it for what it is. That's going to be it for the movie review. We're going to go on to the recommendation of Starship Troopers. This one's going to be a 1997 movie. This is a action movie. There's lots of gore in it. It's very fun to watch. Doesn't really have any messages. It's just kind of a generic action movie that's neat to watch. It's funny. It's got some funny parts in it. It's got several sequels. I know it's got at least 2 or 3. I'm not so sure about them. I'm only recommending the first Starship Troopers. It's by far the best one. I feel like one of the sequels that came out was terrible and another one wasn't too bad. So you can kind of take a risk on the sequels, but definitely the first one's good. The description is, in the distant future, the Earth is at war with a rare race of giant alien insects. Little is known about the bug, except for they are intent on eradication of all human life. A mobile infantry travels to a distant alien planet to take the war to the bugs. And that's pretty much it. They're fighting these bugs that are like, boy, I don't even know what to compare them to. They've got 2 big jaws on the front of them, and they've got 4 legs, and their legs are almost like spears. Like they can just stab through people with their legs. And, I don't know. I don't really know of any insect similar to that, but there's a lot of people being stabbed, and because when they get a hold of them, they just crunch through them instantly. And, but it's all about, it's following these main few people that they kind of join the war, and then they get split up, but they each kind of play a role, and they don't necessarily defeat the bugs, but they score a good victory against them. Which, that's not really a spoiler, because you don't know exactly what happens, but it's good. Check it out, Starship Troopers. We're going to go into my jokes and quotes as I awkwardly unlock my phone. Good grief. I told the lady she drew her eyebrows on too high. She looked surprised. A little delayed there. It decided to go back on me. My previous job was working at a bank, but I lost interest. Alright, that could have gone better. Quotes. Do not speak badly of yourself, for the warrior within hears your words and is lessened by them. And a lot of us, probably the majority of people, are actually harder on themselves than anybody else is going to be on them. But, I mean, it's fine to criticize yourself, but don't be so hard and constantly speak badly of yourself. And especially to other people. Like, there's some people out there that just like you tell them, hey, I bet you're going to get this. No, probably not. It's actually, I know sometimes they don't want to put up expectations and then fail, but them speaking like that is hard for the other people to hear, because they want to, the people outside of them want to encourage them so much and want to lift them up, and they know they can do it, but if they're being so hard on themselves, it actually does affect your ability to do whatever the task is. So just try to think that you can do it, and even if you do fail, be like, that's fine, I'll learn something from it and I'll do it again next time. So try not to speak too badly about yourself. The other quote, the one place where people with no problems reside is the cemetery. Every single person out there has problems. I mean, they're widely, vastly different, and they can be big and small and all sorts of stuff, but everyone has problems. Everyone is dealing with something, and it's insane what people have dealt with throughout their life that you just never even know. So keep that in mind when you see somebody and you think they're happy. Like, or it's not that they can't be happy, but they do have problems just like you do. So the best we can do is work on them and try to progress and learn from them and make them better and keep dealing with them. You can still be happy even though you've got problems going on. That's it for the jokes and quotes. Inside the Introvert. I've always had trouble accepting free stuff, especially if I don't feel like I deserve it. A lot of times my management on my team will give us like Little Debbie's or candy or something, and if they don't say what they're specifically rewarding us for, I feel like guilty accepting it, because I'm like, I don't feel like I earned this. And 'cause, I mean, if I did something amazing and I get rewarded, I'm like, yeah, I actually earned that. But I hate just being given stuff and not knowing, or like I feel like I'm writing off of someone else's work or something like that. And also, like with random drawings, if my name gets put into a random drawing for just like everyone in the company gets put in, I win something, that's great, I'm excited. But right now they're doing something at my company that you get put into a drawing or everyone in the company gets put into the drawing, and then they draw the number of names based on our performance. And I actually won a free paid day off because of this, which you go up and you spin a wheel, and it's got like 10 different things you can win, and the day off was by far the best one, and that's what I happened to win. But what I do at my job doesn't really contribute to making money for the company necessarily. I mean, it's not like they could probably automate what I do. Like I do like manual entry stuff, and if they tried hard enough, they could probably automate it. So I don't feel like I really contribute that much work-wise or productivity-wise. I mean, I help out a lot. I'm on, like I said in the past, the committee that helps boost employee morale and stuff like that. But I don't know. I couldn't get excited for winning this day off because I felt like I didn't deserve it. Which I also have trouble going to get free stuff for whatever reason. I have no logical explanation besides I'm an introvert, and even then it just doesn't make sense. Like, part of this is they've made it like the theme of a movie, so they've been giving out free popcorn. One of them, they gave out free candy bars. They did free nachos, and then they rotated around, did free popcorn again. And like my supervisor and stuff be like, hey, come on, let's go up, but I'm not really friends with them, so I'm like, no, I'm good. And if I had my friend there and they were like, hey, let's go up there, I'd be like, yeah, sure, but she's not there anymore. And I even, at one point, the coffee maker wasn't working, so I had to walk around where they were giving out the free popcorn. And the person giving it out knew me and asked if I wanted some, and I was just like, no, I'm good. And I mean, I would have eaten it, so I don't know why I don't take it. I didn't go up and get the candy. I did, however, go get the nachos, because I love nachos, and I haven't had them in a while, so I got those at least. That was like because I really, really wanted them. But I guess it's just part of being an introvert that I don't have a logical reason for not going up there. It would take 10 seconds to walk up there and get it, and there's not really much of an interaction, and people are inviting me, but I don't know, just can't do it. Or choose not to, I guess. The other day I was walking down the sidewalk, and there was a guy in front of me, and I was walking naturally, slightly faster than he was, but not fast enough to actually pass him. And he kept looking back. I was like, I hope I'm not like scaring him, because I have this constant like resting, mean looking face, and I think sometimes I scare people unintentionally, but it worked out. We got to the traffic light, and like everyone in this stupid city, he walked when he wasn't supposed to and made all the other cars sit there and wait. Technically he walked when there was only half the amount of time, so the light turned green when he was in the middle of the intersection for these other cars to go, and I mean, they couldn't go, so they had to wait. And so he made it across the intersection and took off because I waited through the light and then walked behind him, so that at least worked out. I really scare the crap out of people, because when they do stuff like that, I don't stop. Like, I get super close to them, I mean, unless I have to, and if I do, then I'm laying on my horn. But usually I just get really close to them, and it makes them move a little faster. Especially, like, okay, if you're sprinting across the intersection because you're trying to get out of people's way, that's fine. But the majority of the people here, not only are they not walking when they should be, they're going slow. They're looking at their phone. They just don't give a crap. So I make sure they're nice and awake. But that's going to be it for this podcast. I really, really hope that it recorded all of this. And if it didn't, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not recording all this again right here. You can look at YouTube. It's got all my episodes. You can watch them on there, or use Online Video Converter to make them into an MP3. Find me on, I need to fix that, I no longer have Flickr, but you can find me on Pinterest, on SilverC Review, I'm on Twitter. I post all the episodes on SoundCloud, they stay on there for like a month. And I recently started Instagram, which will be the exact same as Twitter. I'll talk about it next time. And I think that's it. There's a hawk. I think you could probably hear it just now. It's really cool. He needs to like fly down and attack me. That'd be cool. Alright, that's it. Take care.